It looks like you're searching something, Geeta, on your phone. What are you browsing? Hey, I'm actually searching for top gurus, on Google. So I'm just consulting Google, for advice for the top gurus in the world. I think I want to learn from the wisest guru in the world. Your intellectual nature always amuses me, Geeta. But spiritual world is a mystical world and you cannot enter here with your logic. So keep your Google consultations aside and hear me. Do you know that if even God appears on on this planet, he might get unnoticed? Do you know what happened to Jesus Christ when he came? He was nailed and put on the cross. Do you know what happened to witches who were doing the spiritual work or inner work? People got intimidated by their work and they burned them just out of fear and misunderstanding. They didn't have the patience to really wait and, you know, just try to know about them, didn't have the courage, didn't have the love in their hearts. Then even Krishna, has been so misunderstood by all kinds of people. Do you know, or do you think that if Krishna was really understood by people around them, then there would be a war? People would be busy learning from him. But it is such unfortunate thing that when he really came to planet, we had a war, and he had to participate in that war and he had to balance things in the war. So the planet has seen really unfortunate things, with respect to gods. Do you know that many Hindu and Greek myths have said that, when God appears, his light is way too much, that people were not able to take in that light. Do you know what does that represent? It represents that not everybody is able to understand, God through their logic. Their logic is so less, to understand that light, to understand that God. So they are supposed to have open hearts to really understand God up there, if he appears on the planet. So I think you really need to keep this Google advice aside. And if you allow me, I would like to share how I learned from an ant. Learned from an ant? Are you kidding me? Really? Here I'm searching for the wisest guru on Google. You're telling me to learn from an ant? A cheaty? What are you even trying to say? No, I am not kidding at all, Geeta. I actually learned from an ant, Cheaty. So, to really understand and pick up on God's light, we just have to be sensitive. We just have to be aware. That when He shows up its light, then we are alive and we are there. To listen to Him, to learn from Him. So that's all we are supposed to do. But what human being has gone wrong is where he has stopped being sensitive to other people, to other human beings. If he has stopped being sensitive to other human beings, he is not practicing his sensitivity. Do you think he can, when really God appears, he can be sensitive to that light, or he can pick up that frequency? It's not going to fall into that range. Do you know that even our ears have a limited, frequency that it can hear? There is a range of frequency, that our ears can hear, and not beyond, and not, before those, uh, those frequencies. It cannot hear any other frequency other than that range. That's exactly how God is. To pick up on its frequency, to pick up on its light, we have to be sensitive and observant, to our surroundings. So I'm very sure your Google cannot help. Also, do you know there's a very famous and a very nice bhajan, which goes like, Bhagwan kisi bhi roop mein aa sakte hain. So for that, you have to really practice being human, and Google is not going to help for sure. You cannot resonate with the wisest and wisest of guru, if you do not fall into its light, if you do not fall into its frequency, even if you go to the vices of guru, लेकिन अगर आप उनकी frequency में नहीं fall in कर पा रहे हो, अगर आप उनसे resonate नहीं करते हो, तो आपको वो समझ नहीं आएंगे. So it's so much better कि आप अपनी frequency के साथ match करो, and that's how you learn. Okay, so all the gyan apart, let me tell you my story of what I learned from a cheaty, what I learned from an ant. Once I was completely lost in my overthinking, and I was just sitting and just thinking, and then just somehow my eyes fell upon a tumbler, and it was actually round